Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. We have successfully installed some mods, just some basics to begin with, and it's going to help us improve our city. Now none of these mods are really assets or anything like that. The ones we're going to be looking at in this video are just the basics, and we're not going to spend too long looking at them either because some are pretty self-explanatory. So we can control ground resources now. So for example, fertile land, you've got like a brush thing over here. You can change the size of it, so we can just plop a little bit of fertile land down there, and then when we look at it in this view we can see that it's created it. Now how much of that I actually want to do, I don't really know. It does seem a little bit cheaty. I'd like to try and stick to what the map offers. However, well actually there's ore over there. I wasn't aware that there were ore patches. This bit over here though looks great to build some fertile land industry across the coast. That'll probably be quite fun. But yeah, like let's say there's a lack of oil, which, there's a patch over here. You know, we could always paint some in if we wanted to do something like that. And I was kind of tempted as well to sort of paint this area fully, so all of that would be very fertile, but I don't know, we'll just leave it how it is for now. You guys can let me know what you think about that. We've also got some terrain terraforming tools down here as well. We've also got one for creating water, which is something I don't want to mess around with too much. And speaking of which, down here where we built this thing, apparently this doesn't generate. Oh, it generates 32 megawatts, which doesn't sound like a lot, does it? And I don't know, maybe we should have built that facing the other direction, but I'm pretty sure it's facing the right direction. We'll mess around with that and see what happens at some point. But anyway, over here in the city, we should now be able to see a few more things about it, because we've got some tools over here. Aha, look, some extra buttons and things to press. We've got this that shows us the arrows for the one-way direction of streets. Like here, apparently I built a one-way road, wasn't aware of that, and I guess the purple one is to show you that there's a little bit of a problem where it joins a two-way road. Excellent, so we can sort of look at the general direction of traffic in various places. Now, since I last recorded, the traffic has been rather bad. I mean, this road right here was getting backed up crazy amounts, and it's funny what you do when you mess around with the roads. I added like a little bit of what I thought was a shortcut in here, and then all of these piled into 3 lanes all of a sudden, and they completely jammed any traffic here from going past them, and then that backed up all the way around and complete gridlock. So what I did to alleviate that was undo my change. Also over here I added this little road, and you can see quite a few cars now come up this one to get there, because otherwise this doesn't have a lot of traffic. So redirecting some of the traffic around different roads helps, but in general it's going to take us a while to figure this stuff out. Now what I really want to use is this mod right here, the one that's going to remove the traffic lights. And if you remember what we did last time, I was talking about how these wouldn't have traffic lights, but then we discovered these ones would because the traffic merges together. So with this tool right here, bam, we're able to remove them, which is excellent. Now I'm going to go along and do it like at every single bit in this city. Does this one have them? Yep, we'll get rid of those then. Also, look at that, they sort of highlight. Aha, different colours, so I can quickly just browse over and go like that. That makes things very convenient. Then you click again, yeah, for it to change. Excellent. So we don't want any traffic lights there either. And up the top, don't want traffic lights. Maybe we'll leave them there for now. I don't know if there's going to be any negative consequences to removing these. Hopefully there's not. But there you go. Is there any there? Nope. None there. We'll remove them in this area as well. Hopefully that just gets the traffic flowing a little bit better around these areas. So what I really want to find is a place where it seems to affect it heavily, and I actually spotted that. This right here doesn't look too good, does it? Right next to that it gets backed up easy, and I was also looking at this road and thinking that should probably be a one-way road. And one-way roads don't come with the cyclist track, I've noticed. Or maybe you have to go further across. No, they don't. So if we upgrade these types, then drag them that way. Excellent. Those arrows, so helpful. Although it's saying dead end, that can't be right. How? Okay, now it's okay with it? Whatever, that was a bit weird. But then we select this tool and remove the traffic lights there. So now the traffic can go back and forth, and occasionally it'll flow out of there. Let's see it in action, because you're not going to stop. Whoa, that was crazy. Now it could just be that the drivers in this game are essentially perfect. You know, they're not going to have a crash. Which I think would be a cool thing to have, because then doing things like this could be a little bit reckless and occasionally there would be crashes. We're going to go ahead and just remove them across this entire road and then sort of sit back and check out what's going on. So yeah, all of those are now gone, which means traffic should flow through here a lot quicker. Could get a little bit jammed, Do you know what? This looks like traffic in India. If any of you guys have seen like videos of that online, in India I don't think there's any traffic laws, and so a lot of intersections will just have traffic going in all directions, each person looking out for themselves, which, there you go, cars going through other cars. I don't know if this is actually good for the city. Like, it might be a little bit better, but then again, look, some of it's slowing down and getting backed up because of the lack of traffic lights, so it's probably a double-edged sword. You've got to pick and choose where you want to use this, right? Like, I reckon down here is a very good one because there's not a lot of traffic that comes from here. As I say that, of course, a few cars are coming through. So by not having traffic lights, it doesn't really affect it. Anyway, that seems to have alleviated some traffic from this turn here, which is good. We've also got a lot of traffic backing up from around here, and I just don't know how to deal with this. Maybe we should remove the traffic lights there. In fact, let's just remove them everywhere is what I'm going to basically do, isn't it? And then over here and over there. Yeah, let's just let the traffic flow freely for a moment here and see how it goes. So we'll remove all of these ones as well. Bam. And that one there. Right, and there's still just a ton of traffic to move around, isn't there? But it does seem a little bit more organic now. Cars are at least moving a little bit instead of being fully backed up, which is nice to see. And I guess now it's time for me to spend a little bit of time in the city and see how much of a difference that actually makes. But before we go, we have the best mod ever, my favourite mod. Oh, and the game crashed. What? No. So first time it's done that. Okay, the red isn't it saying no, which is what I kind of assumed it was. And you have to use a really big size to place these down. However, they're not sort of close together. I've been placing the smallest little shrubs, and that's actually quite nice to see in this field here, rather than it being completely plain, that there is a few shrubs. But it seems to be like a size-based area of effects. So let's go over here and, you know, click there. Bam! Loads of them. Oh, okay, there's like a render distance thing going on here. Look. They sort of get darker and then lighter. Interesting. But yeah, there's loads of them in place. However, when we go for the smaller thing, we can't put them closer together, which is kind of annoying. Maybe it's the brush that I've selected. What about this one? Let's try again. Click and hold. It's also sort of placing them outside the area. So with those little shrubs, I'd love to have loads of them all close together, you know, to fill in some of those places with some lower foliage. You can see I've been placing them over here. And we can place these ones as well. It's alright, it's not quite as good as the one before, I think. And the erase tool as well seems a little bit finicky. But yeah, we can sort of use the tree brush now. And already, you know, that looks a fair bit nicer having some trees and fields of trees outside the motorway here. Which is something I was going to do. I was going to fill in this area over here. Have loads of shrubs on the ground on this side, which we can sort of do. It just doesn't look quite as effective. Maybe I'm not picking the right sorts of trees to put in these areas. They're alright. But yeah, more details to be done. Anyway, I'm going to play around with this, and we're going to try and, let's say, finalise this area and sort out the trees all the way around it, because we've already done this bit, and if we can just do all of this, we'll start to, you know, connect more of the city together and make it look pretty. Now, while I'm gone, I'm also going to be working on the traffic. I've got a little bit of a theory, and some of you have been saying that roundabouts are really bad, and I think I see exactly why. What I think we want is more direct paths, because if you've got a lot of traffic going one way, it gets affected on the roundabout. So wherever the majority of this traffic is going, what we need is like a direct shortcut to get there. For example, this road, if we just select the road tool, press down. So I think I just fixed the flow of traffic with a considerable knock-on effect. We had a huge backup down here, and this road, you can see a lot of traffic goes through it, and that just seemed to alleviate everything else, because I'm working on the other roads. Oh, it's come back. Yeah, it tends to come and go. Actually, it's not so bad. There's a bit of a shift there. Also, interesting to see some traffic caused here. I was looking at that and thinking that might cause some issues. But what is it? Because there's all sorts of roads going on here. So this one, I decided to branch off to the left to connect there. So to take out the long way around like that, where you cross over lots of traffic, there is a shorter thing like this. Also, you can get onto that road now through this one. And then going the other way, we've got to turn off here that goes all the way around to that road and connects to this bit and goes to there. Now, if I designed it a little bit better, it could have connected down here and gone off to either of these roads as well. So it's a pretty interesting bunch of changes, but it shows that I think roundabouts are good when you've got less traffic. They're a good system for connecting roads because it's a simple circle in the middle, make all the connections. But when you've got high traffic, you just need more direct routes. Now this bit right here, oh, it's daytime, let's slow it down. Yeah, the problem here is that it basically comes out right before the junction. Maybe if I reposition these roads a bit, we could have all three converge on one point, which would be the best way to do it. But there'll be some lane switching there. However, it's sort of looking pretty good again now. There's some clear issues over here. That's backed up traffic, but then this is just, you know, I haven't even thought about what we're doing there. But the next time we need to do a big set of junctions, in fact, this might be a candidate for redoing them. I reckon what we should do is have roads that go straight through like this, then the cross ones go underneath, and then we design all of the turnings. Some of them above ground, some of them underground, so when you like leave down a road like this, you can go straight over, you can go right or left, but you don't go into a roundabout. And I reckon this is actually a good candidate here, so maybe that's something we'll do this episode. And yeah, we got some serious traffic going on back here, but that is no surprise. I mean, actually, if you look at this, it's so gridlocked that there's a lot of traffic kept here that isn't going elsewhere, but we'll address that later on. Let's have a look at the birdification of this area over here. Didn't really use the tool that much in the end, put down a lot of the trees myself. It doesn't seem to be like it was when I last used it. And so now we have, oh yeah, this little road helps a lot as well, because traffic doesn't go on here and then make this really awkward sharp turn back down there. It just, you know, comes out earlier, which is really cool. And, oh, by the way, this area that we did last episode, I completely forgot. I was trying to remember when I was playing that we have this tab here as well, landmarks. Now, Spa Hotel and Sleigh Ride, they cost quite a bit if you look at the price. Or did we actually put that in? No, I don't think we did put in the Sleigh Ride. Okay, so anyway, monuments, buildings along those lines could also go in this leisure area, which kind of needs a rework. I think what I'll do is redesign this track, the way it connects over there, and just give it a tiny bit more space, and then we can have a bigger leisure area. Anyway, yeah, the trees, this is what they look like. I've sort of got rows of particular types of trees filling in all the gaps. There's also pathways sort of going through here as well, which look really nice little details, and that's kind of just all the way down to here, sort of solidified that area. And I think we need to expand that outwards as we go around. So now I could start going up these areas and adding trees and these little gaps and extra parks and stuff like that, just making it all look good. Video, we want to do a before and after. Now I'm probably not going to get exactly in the same location, but there is our before shot. So how's that for a change? That is an amazing looking intersection right there. In terms of space, it has cleared up like a tiny bit, but in all fairness, it's probably just about the same size as what we had before. We have done away with the connection over here, which means traffic on this side is absolutely appalling. Anyway, look at that right there. Very tight and compact. I reckon if you used some proper measurements and had a bit more freedom to build, you could make this a little bit more compact overall. Bring these as close in as possible. Let's talk about the design. So the road goes through. You can turn to the right hand side to get out of here. Ah, I've missed a turning. I was looking at this and thinking, we've only got like the exit there and there. We're missing a left hand turn. There needs to be another exit here that goes around to this side. Oh, okay. So yeah, I've given the roads going like this way and that way 3 turns, but not the other ones. Uh-oh. I'll address that at some point. Anyway, I wanted to show you what was underground. So you go through, and what's really cool is that because this bit here is still sort of, higher up and going down, you can easily have this road swerve underneath, come up over here, and go up onto the road. And one of the things we have, by the way, is the Fine Heights mod. So now you'll see that we can do things in increments of 3 meters as opposed to 12. Like if you look at the number there, it's all going up by 3. And that's the same for going underground as well, which is pretty cool stuff to have. However, we spotted a major flaw with this, and I think actually if I were to add the extra junctions, which are going to be there and over here, then we're going to go into buildings, unfortunately, which is what initially I was trying to avoid. Okay, now we have it from this road all the way down and around to that one, and from that one all the way and down and around to here. It was pretty good when I was putting the first one in, which was this. Now we very quickly drop down to 18. Like, oh, it says 9 there, but I'm pretty sure that's 18. 9 then 18. Weird. Or maybe we're snapping to the wrong road. Anyway, drops down really sharp, goes underneath everything, comes back up really sharp. On this one though, it's a little bit more tricky because we've got that one in the way now. So we drop down underneath where that rises, come a little bit further around underneath where this one drops and rise back up again. And so because of that, it's not the neatest looking thing ever, but it sort of worked. And now you can see we've got immense traffic problems over here because the flow of this is so good that it's like the traffic isn't being stalled. And that's led to lots of death issues. If we go and have a look at our healthcare, which is somewhere, let's press this one. You can see if we select the crematorium that we got plenty of capacity, but you know, traffic is making it awful. I've just realised this area doesn't have one at all, and in the middle here is where I put some like offices and police stations and services. What about that little gap? Let's put it in right there. That's probably not the best place for it to get distributed, but while traffic's poor, we'll do that in. The population of our city is drastically dropping because of this. In order to fix this problem, we should definitely just throw money at it temporary. Now, for all of you that get panicked out by this, your city sucks, look at all the death, it'll fix itself, don't worry. We've thrown money at it, we've got all the money in the bank, and we'll get it sorted out. It is caused by traffic over here, I'm pretty sure, because it's very bad. And maybe elsewhere it's got on pretty rough as well. No, just seems to be this bit over here that's severe. And this is working really nicely though, so we've learnt something. Now I've got to think about how we're going to make this over here work, because I've never really had a plan. It just sort of ends, and that's it really. Okay, another problem has arisen. I think we've had a population boom again. Haven't really been paying too much attention. We're going to have to click on that, aren't we? Relocate? No, we want to turn it on. Excellent. Let's resume the game. Those problems over there should go away. Bam. And this is the junction that I've created. Now, a lot of traffic at the moment. This is a sort of quick rendition. An important thing to point out here is that this road has been disconnected now from all of what's going on over here. And what we actually have is, I think, all the connections we need. So you can exit the city here and go out there, as you can over here as well. So what's important is that those connections to exit are after the ones from this side to get into these areas. So yeah, if you're coming down here, you can turn off down there. And if you're going around this way where all the traffic seems to be getting queued up, you can go this way. Now, is there traffic lights there? There isn't, because they're, you know, it's a highway, but they're stopping. I'm not sure why they stop to wait to turn each time. That is peculiar. Let's actually bring out the traffic. Oh, okay, yeah, I clicked this a moment ago and then I couldn't. Aha! Right, so that thing up there is to go underground and overground for toggling traffic lights. So it doesn't have any. Can we actually give it traffic lights? Wow, look at that. Traffic lights on a highway. Right, anyway, the way these junctions are working is not particularly great. This one's better than this one, though, because the traffic sort of goes across itself here for the exit turn, which isn't very good. So that needs a little bit of a redesign, but this is just not accommodating. And I think what we probably need is for this to connect directly to the next bit, which means we go through a building or two. Yes, why are you not... There we go, there it is, it's appeared. So something like that instead might work better. In fact, we can probably demolish this as well, quickly connect the exit there, and hopefully that's a little bit faster. Right, let's see how it does. Also, doesn't that mean this bit of the road here is useless because it's only used if someone's doing a U-turn, right? I think that's true. I'll keep my eye on it. If no one uses this, we can delete it, and then you'll probably find we could choose a better layout than this sort of U-turn circle that I went for. Okay, how is that? Same road system, but compacted. And, you know, the traffic still sort of goes through each other, whatever way you have the road set up, but this is definitely faster than what we had before, and this just looks absolutely chaotic over here. And slowly everything's sort of getting itself sorted. We have a big flush of traffic sometimes, and they'll try and go on this left-hand lane, which is because I think, well, I don't know, if you look there, it looks like they changed lanes underground. And maybe there's a bug there. Maybe we're like forcing them to change lane underground, which we don't want to do. Yeah, look, they'll shift over to the middle lane there, so something's causing them to all want to go to this side. That's just, I don't know. It seems to perhaps be after these two turnings off to the right. Either way, I don't fully understand the traffic, but we've definitely made a difference here. We've also reinstated a connection between these two areas with this back road over here, which we'll probably develop with some services or something. because then they can provide to both districts, which actually make it pretty good. Also, let's go and remove traffic lights over here. Bam! You don't need no traffic lights. What about these areas? They're too small for traffic lights, but that has some there. I mean, there's really not a lot of traffic to justify it, is there? But it feels like it's worth removing them in most places. Let's do it on these 4 over here, just because it's a quiet area anyway. Alright, today's episode's been fun for me. It's been a lot of traffic management. We've tried some new intersections, we've made changes, and overall the traffic does seem to be improving. However, we're sort of coming on the flat line here, just 100 over. It was in the negative a second ago, so next episode I think we need to look at tweaking things, and I haven't really made fullest use of the mods yet. I guess I need to explore for some more useful ones. Yeah, I'm more interested in the aesthetics, I guess. But our city is looking lovely. Did these upgrade to like the next area? The next level? No, they didn't. That's something I want to do. Now that we start tweaking the city a lot more that we've built so far, get it working really well, we can hopefully increase the value of these areas. Ah, look at that. That one over there is a lot higher. Excellent. Interesting to know. They need more parks, they need better services, and traffic can help with that. And yeah, this is looking so much better down the bottom here now, isn't it? Excellent. That's good to see. So where else are there traffic problems? Probably some unknown ones here and there. Yeah, this bit we know about. Those bits we know about. Nope, it seems like we've definitely helped this area here. Apparently that has... it might be that there's 2 sharp turns close together that gets a little bit hectic, but yeah, definitely made some good improvements. Anyway, I figured this episode would make it a little shorter, just because I need to stop recording and kind of feel like it might be a couple more days before I get a chance to do it again. So that's going to be it from me, this episode. As we go out here, I'm going to zone... Actually, no, I'm not going to zone. So I just wanted to zone some areas all of a sudden. No, we're going to save this for services. Yes, so that's it from me, this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. As always, thank you so much for your support on these videos. Hope you're enjoying them. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.